fellow sin enthusiasts, my name is Christina. Welcome to another Let's Get Reelz movie review. Today is Classic Movie Thursdays here on my channel, my version of Throwback Thursdays. Today's classic movie I will be reviewing for you is called From the Terrace, starring Paul Newman, Joanne Woodward, and Myrna Loy at the beginning, and this is from 1960. From the Terrace begins with Alfred Eaton, played by Paul Newman, coming home after the war in 1946. His family life is not that great. His father runs some kind of company and they're loaded. His mother, Martha Eaton, played by Myrna Loy, is a drunk. She is just really bad with the drinking. She actually has somebody, like a nurse, living with her to try and get her dry and everything, but it just doesn't work. She was on her way to this guy's house out in Philadelphia because she's been seeing him, and the guy actually was the one who turned her into such an alcoholic, and the whole family is just totally messed up. The father really doesn't like Alfred. He had a brother, and the brother had died, and the father was abnormally attached to the brothers, so Alfred has just always been pushed to the side, and this has always kind of created struggles and issues for Alfred, and it bleeds into his life after the war. He wants to get away from his father and start his own business, and he does that. He does break away, and he gets into doing things with airplanes with a friend, and this friend was also in the war, and Alfred goes to a party at his friend's house one night, and there he meets Mary St. John, played by Joanne Woodward, and Alfred really likes her. She's pretty, and she's just something that seems kind of unattainable, so he does get the girl. He pries her away from a guy that she had promised to marry, and then Alfred and Mary get married, and on the day that they get married, his father dies, which there's really no love lost there, and from then on, it's just Alfred really wanting to make his own money, be successful, but then he starts pushing Mary out of the way. He doesn't pay attention to her, so then she runs into the arms of her former fiance, and she gets to be such a total bitch. It's awful. You feel bad for both of them, but towards the end of the movie, you're damn, Alfred, my God, I don't blame you for going after another woman now, Mary just turned into such a flaming biatch and a half. It was crazy. And, at first you feel bad for Mary because you're Alfred, what the hell is going on? Pay attention to your wife. You have a hot wife. What's going on? And then, you just start to feel bad because Mary just becomes this total bitch. It's not she was upset, and then she started you know what, he's going off and doing this shit, I'm gonna go off and do my own shit, and I'm gonna mess around, and I'm gonna find the love that I want with somebody else. And it's both of their faults that their relationship fell apart, but it's just geez, guys, get your shit together. I don't know, I'm not really fond of watching relationships fall apart in movies. I'm not that type of person who's I need a happily ever after, I need couples to be perfect. No, that's totally boring. I would never ever want a couple to be totally perfect in anything, in movies, shows, whatever. That's just boring as hell. But this was they were constantly nagging and ripping each other apart in this, and that is what drives me crazy. It's just go away. Don't be with each other. Just stop it. I don't understand people, I guess, and how they could just do that and rip each other apart and just stick around to annoy the other person. Mary, because that's what Mary started doing to Alfred, she just started to annoy the shit out of him and just say, I'm not gonna give you a divorce, and she just drove him crazy and like made his life miserable. I don't get that at all. So I basically watched From the Terrace because of Myrna Loy. If you have ever seen any of my other reviews, I love Myrna Loy. I have reviewed all the Thin Man movies that she was in, plus a few other movies that she has starred in. I just love Myrna Loy. I will watch her in absolutely anything. And I gotta say, this might be one of my favorite roles. She was only in it for a very short time at the beginning, but good lord, that woman was such an amazing actress. Like, I was like blown away. I had, up until this point, never seen her really in anything like super serious. Like I've seen some of her more dramatic movies from the 30s, and she was good in this, but you can tell like she was older. She was, I believe, about 55 when she made this movie, so her acting got a lot better from her earlier. I mean, she was always a fantastic actress, but her acting improved significantly from those earlier dramas, and she was just fantastic. I was sitting there like thinking to myself, how did this woman not get nominated for anything? Like, it was just like beyond me. Nobody could have played that part better, and it was very heartbreaking because she is such a good actress, and she was able to portray this sadness, you know, and this like love that she had wanted from Alfred's father, and you know, like what happened. Like, you can see the destruction on her face, you can see the sadness, you could just see it in her whole body, and that she just blew that whole part away. She was so perfect. Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward were very, very good. Paul Newman is a good actor. I've seen quite a few of his movies, but I would love to watch more because I do think he's a good actor, and you know, he was a different kind of actor that was coming in, you know, through Hollywood from the 50s into the 60s, and I enjoy the way he acts, and he was so handsome. I'm not gonna not mention how incredibly handsome and totally gorgeous he was. Joanne Woodward I have seen in a few other movies before this, and I think she's okay. There's something about her acting that to me seems not that great. It's kind of like phony to me. It's very hard to explain it, but I'm not like too crazy about her acting. She did have some very good moments, but then there was moments where I was like, that really wasn't good. You didn't play that too well. From the Terrace really wasn't that great. It was a little too long for me. I really didn't enjoy the story that much. As I said, I really kind of just watched it for Myrna Loy, and she wasn't in it very long. The direction was good. As I said, the acting was good by Paul Newman and Joanne Woodward. And I have to say the story was very risque in some parts. Obviously, you know, it starts off in the 40s, but it was filmed in 1960, so it got to be a little bit more risque and set in that time. And I like that. I like seeing it. It was kind of like a little shocking to me because I'm not used to seeing like, you know, it's really racy scenes in like old Hollywood movies, but this is, you know, we're going into the 60s now, so it really wasn't so much of the studio system anymore. I would recommend, if you do like old Hollywood, to watch On the Terrace, but I'm not gonna say like go watch it right now. If you're a fan of Myrna Loy, just sit through maybe like the first half hour. I think she's in like the first half hour, 45 minutes. You will not regret that because she was just fantastic. This is like absolutely one of my favorite roles that she's played. She was just so fantastic. So it's worth it if you're a Myrna Loy fan to sit through the first 30 to 45 minutes of this. But other than that, I would say if you're really into old Hollywood, do watch it, but drag your heels. It's not really like one of those you must watch it right now. Just watch it when you're like, all right, I have like almost 2.5 hours to kill. You know, we'll try this out. So that was my review of From the Terrace. If you like this review in any way, please give us a thumbs up. Leave your comments down below if you have seen From the Terrace, what you thought of the story. Maybe I missed something. Maybe the story was a little deeper than I was able to see. If you like Myrna Loy, Paul Newman, Joanne Woodward, anything, the direction, leave those in the comments, and also in the comments if you have any suggestions of what I should watch, any classic movies or any newer movies. Leave them there, and if I pick a movie and I watch it and I review it, I will give you a shout out. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button for future Classic Movie Thursdays and other movie reviews, because that is what I like to do here. And as always, keep watching movies and stay absolutely fabulous.